What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new video today here on Codename Pizza. Today I've got a video for you guys. Unbelievable, right? I've not done a video in so long, but MrRoflWaffles, aka Milo, you guys love him, I love him as well, and he asked to do a video with me to try and explain to you guys a little bit more about the storyline going into Cold War Zombies. It's a request that a lot of you guys have asked me to do throughout the live streams, because I know a lot of you guys struggle with the storyline, just like myself, and especially with going into Cold War, we kind of need a little bit of a recap and also have a look at some awesome ideas about Cold War as well. And also, if you guys could let me know if you like this type of content, that would mean the world to me. I love doing this. I did it all the way through BO3. I love storyline stuff. I love theory stuff. Let me know and I'll do more of it. Also, if you could leave a like and subscribe if you are brand new, that'd be massively, massively appreciated. And also, the trailer you've been watching in the background is from the new Derice remaster, which is being released at the end of October on the workshop for BO3. So make sure you look out for that on the channel, because I'll be doing all the Easter egg hunt for that as well. But here you go. So, welcome everybody. You guys have asked me so many questions recently on the streams, and I also tweeted out asking a few of you guys what you wanted me to kind of explain now that we have Milo in the video. So here Milo is, and the main topic that we're going to focus on today is, where's Edward Richtofen? Where is he, Milo? Where's he been?
Where's the boy? Where's the boy? Yeah. I've been looking for you, Eddie. It's been a year, dude. Yeah, well, he's been hiding very successfully, but today we're gonna hunt him down, and we're gonna show you guys where he's been this whole time.
And we've got a good few points that we're gonna give to you guys, and then not exactly a nail in a coffin, but something that you guys are gonna find extremely interesting near the end of the video. So make sure you stick around.
Yeah, that point at the end is really juicy. It's really I'm excited to get to that. I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
It really is. So we're guaranteed Samantha Maxis. Samantha Maxis and Eddie in Tagdatoten left, and they went through the portal, right?
Right.
And Samantha Maxis is in the trailer for Die Machine, or Die Machina, however you want to say it. Mm-hmm. But where is Eddie, Milo?
Yeah, and that's the thing that I think everyone has been asking since they saw the trailer, is the fact that Samantha goes to the phone booth, she walks out of the phone booth, she gets tailed at one point, which is really interesting in itself. But the fact that there's just no reference or mention of Richtofen at all when we know he's in the universe is the big question, right? And so everyone's been wondering, all right, if Samantha was controlling the zombies before, or Monty was controlling them, or Shadow Man, or whoever, and that stuff's all wrapped up now, then we need someone else to fill those shoes of being in control of the zombies. And maybe the fact that we haven't seen Eddie and the fact that there's a new controller go hand in hand, and he's the perfect candidate.
Exactly. And he's the perfect candidate for multiple reasons. One of those being the fact that we've already seen Samantha in charge, of course, and it's supposed to be Eddie's turn again, or Eddie's turn for once from the Origins cutscene. But that's going way far back. There's actually stuff inside of the trailer in the game itself that kind of gives stuff away, right, Milo? Like the war weapons? Yeah,
so this is an idea that is like either a galaxy brain idea or a pea brain idea. You can let me know in the comments, guys. What my thinking is here, it's almost like a mathematical argument, right? Where the wall weapons appear to work like they have in the past in this universe. This universe is a sort of new universe to what we've previously experienced in Zombies, but the fact that the wall weapons are persistent with their past forms, to me, means that it would make sense that the person that's in charge of that, that's creating that, that's making that happen, would have some knowledge of how they've worked in the past too. The problem is that in the past, it's been Monty that's been the one that's put those chalk drawings on the walls. He's been the one that's nudged the players in the right direction as we've gone through our Easter egg quests to continue the cycle. But the fact that Monty is gone now, presumably at least, and we'll talk about that more in a second, and I'm assuming also the Shadow Man is probably gone too, means that there's a gap there for someone else to be doing that. And the only other character that we know of from the previous Zombies universe that would have experience with those past wonder weapons, to know how that system worked, and then to, in this universe, go, you know what? I liked that old system. I'm going to do things that way as well, would be none other than Edward Richtofen.
Of course, and we only know the two characters that have left that universe, which is, of course, Samantha and Eddie. And once again, going back to my point before, we know where Samantha is. Eddie's not there yet. Now,
exactly.
We've got so many more things, so many juicy things, haven't we, Milo?
We do. Actually, just to cut in as well there,
sure.
Going back to what I said about Monty and the Shadow Man probably not being present,
yep.
I think it's worth just like sitting on that point for a second, because it would be very easy to look at this and go, all right, who's in control of the zombies? Well, it's the Shadow Man. Duh. But I think it's worth examining and really taking a considered look at it, because since BO3, right, we've got introductions of Monty literally in Shadows of Evil and the Giant as this person making gobblegum machines, but we knew very little about him, what his deal was. It was a real mystery. Yeah. We did have a huge Apothicon influence in Shadows, of course. I mean, they're everywhere, right? Yeah. And Keepers too. But the intricacies of Monty as a character were sort of unknown. We then, as we got to the end of the BO3 area of, or the BO3 cycle, got a huge amount more information about Monty. He was talking, his character was doing stuff in trailers, and like we got a model for him and everything, and it was this big reveal. But if we then go forward to Black Ops 4, suddenly Monty's not really present in the same way. And what I mean by that, it's really important to be specific here, is that his character was there, but Malcolm McDowell as the actor was no longer relevant. He was no longer needed. He wasn't giving us loads of new voice lines. He wasn't doing any acting for us. There wasn't anything like that going on. Monty was simply a person that was name dropped a few times and then who ate Dr. Maxis, but while he was like an alien, essentially. Like, there was no real new stuff coming from Malcolm McDowell. And I think the simple reasoning for that is that he's a fairly old man. And as these things always go with celebrity casts, you can't keep your celebrities on forever, constantly as they get older and older and older, expecting them to come back to play a weird old, like, sort of homeless looking dude in your strange zombies video game. Like, you're just not going to be able to convince them to keep doing that work. And eventually they're going to pass away, right? So it would make the most sense to me for Treyarch to be phasing Monty out for that reason. It's like a meta reason almost, breaking the fourth wall a little bit. Yeah. And then also looking within the arc that they've been telling since BO3, we went through all of that struggle, right? As Craig Houston literally said, to close off the multiverse and just distill everything down to the one world free of zombies so that the children could go and live innocent lives uncorrupted by Ether, Agartha, and all that jazz. And they were only half right. That's something that Craig Houston specifically says, or rather the Treyarch blog specifically says, right? As a Craig Houston quote. Yeah. Now, if they're only half right, in my opinion, the half that needs to be right is that all those multiverses have been closed and all of the previous sort of arc of Agartha and Monty and the Shadow Man and all of that chaos is going to have come to an end. I think that this is very much a simplification of the crazy complexity of the storyline here in sort of shelving those characters. And the half that is wrong is that even without Shadow Man and without Monty, there can still be zombies. And that's why we see them. That's the bit that is persisting in this new universe. And so to me, it just feels like Shadow Man and Monty are basically past entities in zombies now, but not going to be the ones that are super relevant here, because I mean, at the end of the day, that was the whole point of that previous arc. We got rid of them, and I think for good. And it's definitely done with. To touch on a very small point, just to make it a little bit more, just add something, you know, like you said, Michael McDowell, there's no way we're gonna get him again. And to back that up a little bit, I guess it's the exact same as kind of saying we'll never see Nero again. Like, getting Jeff Goldblum in for another map, there's just no way. And it's the exact same thing with this. They got him for a game, we didn't get any voice lines from him in BO4, done, right? Right, exactly. And so, like, we might see, like, for example, a lot of people for a long time were speculating that the jump scare in Mob of the Dead is Nero. Like, there were people that were making that, it did that look theory. Like him. Right, yeah. And so that's like, those sorts of things might happen where like you see like a drawing of a character or something like that. But that was, again, remember also in that previous universe. The idea that they would do that now is even less likely. I feel like Monty's got to go at some point, and I think this is the time for it. Definitely. And there's things that we can see inside of the trailer that actually kind of backs this up slightly. Right? So one of the things that we see straight away is on the Nakda and Toten stairs, one of the most interesting pieces of the whole trailer for me, which is writing on those stairs saying, the accursed one will rise again. Yeah, man, I love this quote. I love this quote because it's so juicy and yet it's literally one sentence. Like, over the years, I'm gonna go on a tiny tangent here.
Sure.
Sorry, viewers, but like over the years, we've had so many cookie cutter lines in ciphers and like written in weird places on maps and stuff like that that have had impact for sure, but a lot of the time there have been so many of them that you're sort of overwhelmed and you kind of give up on caring about what they say. But the fact that this is one of the only little sort of snippets that we have about this new universe, and it says the accursed one will rise again, like, bro, Treyarch. Like,
that's good.
It's just, it's so exciting to me, and it ties really well in with what we're talking about here, with the potential of Eddie being present and controlling the zombies in this universe. Because what do we know about Richtofen being cursed?
Well, we've got a quote. Number one, we've got a quote from Revelations, which we'll jump to in 1 second. But also, Craig Houston also said inside of the Treyarch dev teaser trailer kind of thing, he said some things not wanting to stay dead, which obviously could implement the zombies themselves. They're not dead. They don't want to stay dead. But the only character that we've ever seen in a zombies form in zombies is Richtofen. We've seen him in Shadows of Evil. We've seen him in multiple trailers inside of BO4. He's got a zombies version of himself.
Right.
So, are we talking about Edward Richtofen here?
Maybe. It's one of those things where, like, it really could be, that line could be interpreted so many ways, but just the fact that it is another thing that potentially fits with this, it's like, on its own, I wouldn't say that that's nail in the coffin, final evidence for Richtofen being in control, but when you combine it with everything else, it's like, well, I mean, this is a lot of things all pointing in the same direction here as like a possible implication for what's going on. So definitely a really, really cool one. And the thing that you mentioned a second ago about the other Revelations quote is also a direct reference to Edward Richtofen, because it's Richtofen that says the dang line. So his line in Revelations, and this is a Pack-a-Punch quote. I'm sure you guys remember that a lot of your Pack-a-Punch quotes in zombies are like really juicy story quotes. He says, "Curses come in many forms. I keep mine hidden. I learned long ago that sometimes only the cursed survive."
And it's so juicy.
Is just great because obviously, Shadows of Evil, right? We've got the curse. You bear the mark, you are cursed. The mark is literally the sign of the Apothicons in that case. But we have this kind of legacy curse reference there. We've also got the Shadows of Evil poster saying only the curse survive.
Beautiful.
And that was an incredible poster. It was so good. But we never got that much further explanation as to what was going on there, or if it was relevant in ways that we didn't understand or that we hadn't figured out yet. But the fact that he was saying this all those maps later in Revelations makes me think that the curse was something that they were actually intending to make a bigger deal of at some point, but maybe they just never quite got there. Maybe they didn't have time to fit it in the crazy story arc they already had built. And so now, saying the accursed one will rise again, I mean, it would make sense to me that the accursed one could well be Richtofen, and he is rising again here from losing control of when he was previously in the zombies in the previous story at this point, and now sort of returning to power, rising to power, and rising again in this new universe, and finally getting his turn, like we said, from that Origins cutscene, maybe even tying that in as well.
So interesting. And I love that. I love that quote so much. It's just fitting everything together so well. And like you just said, it's going to be his turn. And we've got a little bit more evidence that we're going to come back to. But let's just reinstate the fact. If we're saying no Shadow Man, no Monty, Richtofen is in charge in this whole thing that we're coming up with right here. There's a little theory. Yeah. What's on top of that mystery box, Milo? What's there inside of the trailer?
So, this is so cool, man. I love this so much. Yeah. So, in the trailer, we see a bunny on the mystery box, which previously would always have been a teddy bear, right? So we're used to a teddy bear, and we're used to that teddy bear literally being Samantha's teddy bear. I mean, she's carrying the thing around all the time. It's very much associated with her. You get a teddy, she laughs, she says bye-bye, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So if the teddy is associated directly with Samantha, and not just with Samantha, but with Samantha's influence on the map, her control over zombies and her control over just the ether in general, her link to the ether and to Agatha, then the fact that there is a bunny now suggests that there is a different controller, so we're no longer working with Samantha as we thought from what we've previously said, but also that teddy, or sorry, not that teddy, that bunny, I've got to be careful with my words here, that bunny is quite possibly a bunny that represents Edward Richtofen himself. And the reasoning for that is that if we... Oh, do you want to jump in there?
I was just going to make a little snide remark, Milo. I was just going to say like, oh, big deal. It's just a bunny rabbit. It just means a different controller. Go for it, Milo.
Just you wait, dude. So, there's multiple reasons why this bunny could well be linked to Richtofen personally. Number one, numero uno, okay? You think this bunny hasn't appeared in Zombies before. Incorrect. If we zoom back in time all the way to, and this is going to sound crazy, but the Revelations ending, okay? In the Revelations ending, there are multiple toys in the room. They're spinning up and they all turn into, I'm pretty sure, the summoning key and then literally fly off into the sun, and it's crazy, right? So with that, the fact that the bunny is present in the room instantly means to me that there is a possible association with one of the children. We also know from the Agatha arc of the timeline that when Samantha meets Edward in the house, when that happens, after Edward arrives, his innocent soul is collected from Dimension 2210, they meet each other for the first time, and Sam writes in her diary that Edward doesn't like to share the toys, right? They are playing with the toys in the house. Not only that, but with the happiness of children entry in the timeline, Monty brings Eddie and Samantha more toys. So Samantha, again, we know is directly linked to that teddy, right? That teddy bear. But the fact that more toys are being brought in, and it's like for Eddie's benefit, basically. It's for the fact that Eddie's innocent soul is now in the house and he needs his own toys to play with, means to me there's a pretty good chance that that bunny is a direct reference to Edward himself. And on top of that, somehow there's even more, okay? I suppose there is an argument to be made that it could be somehow related to the other kids, because we have seen the other kids playing with some of those other toys as well. But we know also that those other kids are basically irrelevant to the equation here, because it's only Samantha and Eddie that actually go through the portal. So if we focus on the fact that it's just those two and the teddy's taken care of, the next obvious person is Edward Richtofen. Now on top of that, in Gorod Crovy, there's a tea party with a load of toys lined up. Those toys are also present in Der Eisendrache, which Pizza found earlier, and I was like, bro, what an amazing spot. They're on like a chest at the bottom of a bed in there in Samantha's room, and they're all laid out being played with. It's the exact same toys that we're seeing. It's just that there's a different colored version of it, I suppose, in this new Cold War universe.
Yes.
Will the other animals be relevant in some way? Will we see them in future maps in Cold War, for example? I don't know. And if we do, that's going to really blow the doors open on this theory, because it's going to give us a whole new understanding of how the ties between those immortal souls of those children and the control over zombies and just generally Ether and Agatha as a whole all link together. But for now, it seems to me like, just based on that evidence alone, the fact that Eddie is the one that we know is present here but he is missing, it all just seems to fit in a really nice little package pointing towards Edward most likely being in control of the zombies.
I hope so. The amount of people that want to see Richtofen again. And I think just visually wise, I know especially by making thumbnails and stuff like that, visually, people that aren't in the zombies community know who Edward Richtofen is just by an image.
True.
And I think the devs and the teams at Treyarch would be a little bit foolish not to include Richtofen and have that such a strong character presence inside of this game.
Yeah, I agree. He's iconic at this point in the same way that Juggernog is iconic, in the same way that wall weapons are iconic, those real roots of the zombies mode that Treyarch have made a real point to reference and include in the stuff that they've shown us so far. Edward is the next logical thing, and I think that at some point he will turn up, or at least I'd like to hope so.
Yeah, me too. But there you go. I want to know what you guys think of the amazing theory that Milo has just displayed for you guys. Let us know inside the comment section what you think, and let us know if you have any other ideas. Do you want future videos like this? I love spending time with Milo and making videos, so give us more content and we'll do it, and I'll get Milo to answer your questions.
Hell yeah. I'm looking forward to it, man.
But there you go. Thank you very much, Milo, for coming on today, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Peace.
Bye.